Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how I create and also how I shoot my content for tutorial videos on YouTube. This is not going to be like a serious in-depth video, but this is basically how to set up your OBS to get it running, to create videos and shoot for YouTube. Let's head into OBS Studio as I show you how to set up your OBS for YouTube. Here is OBS fresh. When you install it, no audio, no sources. You only create it with just one scene. You can use OBS to capture both your screen and also your camera. If you don't have a camera and you have an iPhone, there is a software called Iron Camera, IRIUN. It's both on Android and iPhone. You can install it on your system and also on your phone and follow the instructions on how to connect both of them. Then also you're going to see it on OBS as a video source, just like you see in the web camera. But that's how to get camera input first of all. I'll touch on that later. Without further ado, in FL Studio, you can head over to your settings by clicking this button right here. Then come out to your output settings and you can just copy exactly what I have here. So for recording, I use the high quality medium file size. It's almost the same thing as the indistinguishable quality, which is for large file sizes, but I've swapped to the medium file size just to conserve disk space on my PC. Then my recording format is MP4, just because it's easier for my Premiere Pro, which I use for video editing, to handle MP4 files. I find it a bit difficult to handle MKV files sometimes, but MKV files are the safest kind of video files to record in, because if you're recording and you have probably like power outage or something happens to your PC, it goes off. Up to the point where your PC goes off, you still have that recording intact, but for MP4 it can corrupt the whole file for MP4. So people prefer to shoot in MKV because of just like that backup kind of settings it gives. But for me, like I said, because of my editing software, it's more compactable. Maybe because of my system, I can't say much on that, but it's easier for me to edit MP4 files. So I leave it in MP4. For my encoder, because I have a graphics card, a dedicated graphics card on my system, I'm using the hardware NVENC by NVIDIA. But I think for you, you're going to use the software X264, depends on what your system has. But for me, it's the NVENC. That's all for the recording session. I'm on the simple settings. If you want to go hardcore, you can also switch to advanced. In the recording tab, you can set your audio track, you can choose the video format. This time around, I think you don't even have the option to either select, is it going to be big, large file size or small file size. By the time you just set it here, I think you just record straight to output, or leave it in the simple, straightforward part here and just select the high quality medium file size MP4 for me. You could feel free to use MKV, just experiment and see which one works better for you. Then for my audio parts, if you're going to be recording desktop audio, you just click here and select default. It's okay. For your desktop audio to leave it disabled. Then for your mic, for example, I have a microphone plugged into my Behringer audio interface. I'm going to select that one now in 1.2 for Behringer UMC 24 HD 192K. I'll select that. We've already selected the desktop output to default. OBS will do the rest for us once it's on default. I'm using 48 kilohertz personally. Some people use 44.1, but for my system, my entire settings is set to 48 kilohertz. That's just for my system. So for others, I think it's 44.1 kilohertz. Go ahead and use that. Yes, we're recording in stereo format. Meters is fast. Peak meter type, sample peak, advanced monitoring device, leave this at default. Then also for our video output, for me, I record in 1080p and also output in 1080p, which is 920 by 1080p, and my editing is also done in 1080p. If you shoot in 4K, good for you. If you find out that probably the sizes are too big, the video file sizes are too big, you can switch to 1080 by 720 for your output, but leave your base as 1920 by 1080, and leave your output to be 1080 by 720 if you have issues with space, or probably probably it's basically space, you understand. Some people don't have that enough data to upload large files on YouTube, or even they don't have strong systems that can edit 1080p videos. You can easily set your output scale to 1080 by 7020. Then for your downscale filter, I leave mine at Lance cost. I don't know how to pronounce that, Lance cost. I leave it there. Then my common FPS value, you're okay with 30, you're okay with 60, but I personally prefer 60 FPS. So that's that for advanced. You don't need to do any settings here. You can leave as default. Now, general settings, what you want to enable here is quite simple. You see an option that says transition to scene when double clicked. This is if you have multiple scenes, which we'll get into real soon, and you're on studio mode. You can easily switch between one scene and the other just by double clicking that scene. So let's go ahead and click apply and click OK. So if you click apply, you'll notice that right from the top we already have our audio inputs coming into OBS. You'll notice it's coming into only one channel. We'll go ahead and fix that real soon. Now let's talk about scenes and sources. So scenes are like a folder of sources. Sources could be anything. It could be your screen recording, it could be your camera, it could be audio input from somewhere, it could be capturing a specific window from the system. So how you want to set your own scene for music producers that want to record content, we'll have a scene one. I will right click on this scene and let's rename it desktop. Okay, then we can create another scene and probably call it camera. Okay, we can go ahead and also create a different scene and call that one desktop plus camera. All right, desktop plus camera. So these three different scenes we've created, we're going to put different sources in these different scenes. Okay, so for our desktop sources, we'll go ahead and click plus and select the option that says desktop display capture. So you select display capture, you click OK, and automatically you see an infinite window of your current desktop view. If you have multiple displays, some people do that. In display option here, you see two displays listed down, display 1 or display 2. If you want to capture what is being displayed on your display 2, you can go ahead and click display 2. If you're only just on one display, go ahead and click display 1. You can choose to capture cursor or not. If you're doing tutorials, obviously want to capture the cursor, you select capture your cursor and click OK. Now have a desktop view capturing our desktop. You can go ahead and resize this. Probably you want to take away your taskbar, holding the alternate and come to click this point here and dragging up will crop out your taskbar. You can easily click here without holding any other key to stretch the image or to zoom the image. Let's undo transformation. Okay, and click transition. Now if you're not seeing this mode here, like I have two screens here, go ahead and select studio mode and enable it. If you enable studio mode, you have the option to preview what you want to transition into. So if we double click here, transition to camera, we'll have nothing there. Double click desktop on camera, we'll transition also. So for our camera, if you are using Iron, for example, I'll click the camera here, select it, come to sources, click the plus icon, then select the video capture device. Go ahead and click that. Go ahead and click OK. Then you want, from your drop down menu here, you want to go ahead and select Iron webcam. Mine is not currently connected, but if it was connected, you're going to see it over here. So this is not a video on how to use the Iron camera setup, rather just for you to set it up. You can start YouTube to look for how to set up your Iron in OBS, but it's as simple as installing the application on your phone and also installing the software on your system. I think the rest is really explanatory in the application. Go ahead and click OK over here. Then we can stretch this here just to fit the screen. We have desktop, we have camera. Our last scene to work on is the desktop plus camera. Now this is a scene whereby you want your display to be captured, also having an overlay of your picture, or rather your camera there. So go ahead and click sources and click plus. There's what we call nested scene in OBS, which enables you not to have multiple instances of a particular input. OBS can be a little bit finicky and not allow you to like just have our camera here. You cannot create another scene with that same input as a video capture device, which is definitely your web camera, your iPhone or your Android phone. So we're going to go ahead and click the desktop plus camera scene, come to sources, click add. Then we're going to look for what we call scene and go ahead and select scene. Then we'll select the camera scene and click OK here. That's good. We'll go also ahead and click the plus icon, click scenes, then select the desktop screen and click OK. Now we have both our camera and desktop being added to this particular scene. Now we want to arrange it same way many softwares do operate. OBS works in stacks, that's layers. if a particular input is below another input, the one on top is going to overshadow it. That's mostly for video input or visual input. So go ahead and carry the camera and bring it up. Okay, now we can stretch or retransform this camera and drag it to our place of liking, and we're done. Now we have a desktop, which our desktop capture. We have our camera input, then we have a different scene that takes the input of both the camera and also the desktop capture. Now we are almost ready to record our first tutorial. Now over to the audio mixer side, let's zoom this out. You can see we have desktop audio, we have mic input coming in, then we have the audio from the video capture device, which we don't have any audio from there because we're just capturing from our phone. Go ahead and turn this off here, then right click on the video capture device channel, then go ahead and click hide to get rid of that particular one. It's easy to right click and unhide everything to bring them back out. Right click again and hide them. So for our mic inputs, we can rename it. If you want to rename it, just right click and click rename. You can call this microphone. You can come here and click, and we can rename this to let's say we want to call it Peradventure your FL Studio Audio, FL Audio. Okay, now for microphone line input, we go ahead and right click, then we click advanced audio properties. Go ahead and click that. Now under the microphone tab, you want to go ahead and click mono. You want your microphone signal to be in mono. Now if you look at your metering is coming through both channels at the same time, giving you a mono signal. So peradventure you want to listen to what you're saying through your mic, you can go ahead to the audio monitoring section, select that and click monitor and output. Now you notice that we have two different outputs right now in OBS, because this particular channel is being outputted via the speakers of your desktop or laptop, and OBS is also set to capture the audio coming in from your desktop or laptop, thereby having these multiple channels from the same source kind of. Let's go ahead and turn off monitoring and output and just leave it in monitor off. That's okay. So you could want to monitor FL Studio for some input, but I don't think you need to do that because you're already listening to the audio via your speakers. So go ahead and close out from here. We are done with almost everything, so we could put this into practice and go ahead and open FL Studio. Now we got FL Studio open. I just have a simple track loaded on there. I'll go ahead and play this beat, and I want you to notice something. Go ahead and play this. I'm going to head over back to OBS Studio. Now you notice we don't even have any inputs coming in right now in this FL audio panel we set input setup, and it's very simple to fix actually. I'm going to head back to FL Studio. Now you want to go to your option settings here, go down to the audio settings, then in your input and output you want to switch that audio driver to FL Studio ASIO driver. Go ahead and look for FL Studio ASIO, select that, and if we look back in OBS we can see audio inputs coming in loud and clear. All right, so going back to FL Studio, now with the FL ASIO you're going to notice a bit of latency, but I think if you want to record tutorials you're going to have to find your way around that, except you have a sound card or audio interface that has the audio loopback function. If your audio interface has a loopback function, it's quite easy to do that. Just I think in the audio settings here, for example capturing desktop audio, you can right click, select properties, then over here you just need to select the virtual input from your sound card, and you need to probably look up a tutorial video on how to set up your. There's another way, probably I'll do another video showing you how to go about that using a software called Voicemeeter. There again, all this information is already out there on YouTube, so do also make more research for yourself. That will enable you to create better content easily and hassle-free. So I think I've been able to put you through how to get your sources, how to put them together, get your video and audio into FL Studio. Now peradventure you have a crappy environment or you have a crappy microphone, I want to make it sound good and audible enough. Let's go into one or two settings in OBS Studio on how to set up your mic for better quality. Now click this cog wheel here, then select filters. Let's go ahead and click filters. Now in this filter section, just like your any other DAW, you can go ahead and add various VST plugins here. Please try to stay away from your third-party VST plugins. Just use what comes with OBS to avoid latency and delay in your audio when recording. So let's go ahead and click the plus icon here. One of the first things I like to add is the noise suppression. Go easy on this, please. For noise suppression, just leave it at if you have a good PC, leave it on the good quality, more CPU usage. But if you have a fairly manageable PC, go ahead and click the low CPU usage, low quality, and just leave the suppression level to what best suits you. You can go ahead and monitor your outputs on your headphones and just leave it to what best suits you. I'm going to show you the VSTs to load, but the settings is going to be based on what you are hearing, also possibly the gadgets you have, the kind of microphone you have, and stuff like that. And the next thing I also like to load, not all the time, is a noise gate. And what the noise gate does is that it acts basically like how your gate works. If you're using gates in music production, and also the literal meaning of a gate, also it opens up when your mic level gets to a particular dB. It opens up the channel for audio to come in, and when your mic level comes down below a particular decibel or dB or threshold, it closes up the gate so that noise does not come through your microphone. I know we already have the noise suppression doing that for us, but we could just take it a bit further. Now I see I'm talking right now into the mic, but it can't even pick up anything because I have the open threshold set all the way up. So if I bring it down right now to a level whereby even if I talk faintly, the gate still has enough chance to open for me. And to close the threshold, you can just put it somewhere around here, or bring it up a bit. Then for our attack time, we want it to be a bit fast. The whole time should hold for long. The release time, let's make it a bit fast also. Like I said, you want to use your ears for these things to know how they sound. The last step I like to do is just add a compressor at the end of the day. For me, go ahead and put the compressor, leave the ratio something about 8, leave the threshold something about like -16, I guess. Then output gain, put it like +3 or +4, just to make my audio levels loud and clear. Now with this, I think you should have a fair enough audio signal coming through into OBS, and your videos should sound a lot better. I think that's everything about OBS for music producers. I guess I should title this video OBS for music producers. And yeah, that's all. Just before I end this video, your audio from your microphone and your audio from your PC, how to separate them. You can get this free software called Audacity. It's free, and all you need to do is just to set your audio setup for the recording device and set it to your microphone as your audio interface. So that way, when you start recording video, you can also turn on your Audacity software, and it's also recording your microphone at the same time separately on a different channel. When you're done, you click stop, you go ahead and click file, you export as WAV to still withhold the quality it has. Mind you, WAV are larger files than MP3. You want to save storage, go ahead and hit the MP3 export as MP3 option and do that. So that's just a bonus tip for you in case you do not want to have your voice and your audio from your system on the same channel. Mind you, if you're doing that, you have to turn off the audio from OBS. You go ahead and click mute. Then you only have your audio from your FL Studio, your Ableton, your Logic coming in through. Did I just say Logic? Okay, Logic coming through this channel here. So thank you guys a lot for watching this video. I hope this was helpful. If you have further questions surrounding this particular topic, the comment sections are wide open for you to ask your questions, and I'll do well to respond accordingly. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to give this video a like, and also, yes, your first time here, go ahead and comment something you learned or a question you have also in this video. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.